you've got to be gangster in life. And I mean particular things with this. What I mean is, you need to have integrity, right? As yourself, as a being. Meaning you need to stand on business, stand your ground, stand for whatever it is that you stand for until the bitter end. If you look at the Scarface movie, he dies at the end of it, but he's standing up for he's standing up for himself. He's not backing down. He's not trying to negotiate or nothing. Do you understand? And that's the essence of to be gangster. Of course, there's more parts to this, right? There's like a greater breakdown of the essences of it, but it's nothing to do with joining a gang to be gangster. It's about standing up for yourself. It's about reaching for, unapologetically and without asking for permission, what you believe is yours, right? And not overly respecting anyone. The reason I'm bringing this up is I got arrested 4 days ago, and it's because one of the people along the chain was just not gangster enough to prevent the circumstances. So I got some headphones. They're called Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. It's the latest Samsung Galaxy earphones. It's like AirPods 4, whatever the latest AirPods are. They cost about $250. I bought them from a shop in town. Always buy from a shop if you can, mainly because it is traceable back to that shop. So it's an insurance in itself that you have the shop in question. But essentially I bought this from a shop, and about a month later I got an email from Samsung. I got a message from Samsung saying the buds that you have were lost, meaning that essentially they were stolen somewhere, and that I should get in touch with the person who, the original owner. So I emailed him and I told him where to meet me. And essentially what I was going to do was have him buy the earphones from me, because I'm not just giving you back your earphones and losing my $80 into the ether. I'm going to have that back. So what ended up happening was he asked for them. I told him, well, you're not just getting them, you have to buy them from me because I bought them from someone else. In essence, we ended up having to go to the police station because I said I needed to be... Firstly, I don't fully know who you are. I don't know that this is fully legitimate. I know that if we go to a police station, at the very least, there'll be verification of identity within this. And at least I know that you're not making a scam of some kind. So we went there, and he described what happened to him. Someone took the earphones from him, as well as his Galaxy Watch 6, right? And this is because he was afraid, because it's a tall guy who was missing an eye and had a cut above his eye, something like this, and had his hand in a fanny pack, and was asking, essentially aggressively asking him to give the earphones and the watch or else. So he thought it might be a gun, and he got scared, and then he gave away his items peacefully. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should be a superhero, and I'm not saying that the cowardice that is naturally within you, because understand that to some extent you have fear in you just by virtue of being a human being. Bravery is not your natural state. You are not born brave. It is a trained state. But I found that very distinctly not gangster, and I'll tell you what. One day you'll see me in hospital because of this, but I'll tell you what, I'll make you shoot me and then take my devices. I will not peacefully give you the things, right? Because I have an idea that you could be scary, right? And this is nothing to do with knowing how to fight or knowing how to get out of the situation. It's about showing the spiritual integrity, the spiritual resilience showing who you are. Yeah. 2, said bully, said person, said thief. And then also, more importantly, it's about protecting the next person from said behavior. There's a disciplinary responsibility that you have towards your fellow man. Meaning, when someone is acting up, you need to protect the next person by disciplining them for acting up. Might not be able to fight, might not be a world martial arts champion, but I'll tell you what, if you try to bully me in some odd way, I'm going to hit you as hard as I can, because I know that you shouldn't do that, and I'm protecting the next person. And I'll tell you what, if 10 people hit you as hard as they can, it doesn't matter how tough you are. You're going to change what you're doing, because you cannot survive everyone saying no, and very blatantly and aggressively and with some impact. So what this person, the original owner of the buds, was supposed to do was say, no, God damn it, and continue with his day. Or, no, and if you try something on me, I'm going to try something on you, and make a threat and mean that threat. Right? Yes, could be that the guy pulls out a gun, could be that. But is someone really going to shoot you for galaxy buds? In that case, he should shoot you. Let's escalate everything to the top, and you then become a sacrifice for the next person, because this way you can't rob the next person, you can't shoot the next person, who's already in too much trouble. Yeah? And this is how we protect one another as society. If we let people run rampant and do whatever they want, then society won't be safe. Yeah? The person is now going to go and rob some woman, rob some child, shoot some woman, shoot some child, because you were simply not gangster in that moment. Understand that whether or not you can fight. Understand that whether or not it makes sense. Whether or not it makes sense. Hit that person as hard as you can. It doesn't need to make sense. And do not preserve yourself. And do not preserve yourself such that the world is becoming a worse place because you preserved yourself. Yeah, you're allowed to die. You're allowed, but die correctly. If you're saying, all right, cool, I'll tell you what, I'm getting shot because it's not okay that this person is robbing me. This is a correct way to die, and we'll respect you for dying like that. If you die running away from something that you think is scary, it's not an okay way to die, and we won't respect you for that.